Hello guys, myself Vipin Kumar and today we do 6th chapter of class 9 science, which is the living organism characteristics and habits. So we all are surrounded by plants, trees, animals, birds, microbes and other living and non-living things. Like non-living things like bed, chairs, motorbike, bicycle, etc. So, on the certain parameters, scientists were able to differentiate between living and non-living things. So, how they can? What are the parameters? What are the certain parameters on which the scientists were able to differentiate the non-living and living things? So, let's go. We study about that. Organisms. What are organisms? An organism is simply defined as any living things ranging from microscope like a bacteria. It means that a organism is simply defined as a living thing, any living thing. It can be a it can be a bacteria which is can only be seen by the microscope, and can be a large elephant and anything between them, like dog, humans, cats, horses, jackals, etc. So different type of plants and animals are found in different areas. Like in in the side of Jammu and Kashmir, there are yaks are found there, bisons are found there. In the Sundarban Delta, there are the Royal Bengal tiger is found. In the different area, there are the different species and of animals and plants. For example, in the desert, have camel and cacti plants. So, like in our India, in Thar desert, there is the found the camels and cactus plants. Beaches show coconut trees. In beaches, the coconut trees and crabs are found. Fishes and other marine animals inhabit the sea. These are some examples. So, characteristics of living organism. What are the characteristics of living organism? Plants are living thing, but they do not appear to move like a dog or a pigeon. Plants are a living things. Plants are a living things, but they cannot move like a human or a dog or a pigeon. They cannot dance. They cannot eat like human or other animal. But on the other hand, a car or a bus can move, but they consider non-living. As a difference that the plants cannot move, but they are living things, and car and buses are can move, but they consider as non-living. So, what are the characteristics which differentiate the living and non-living things? So, now we discuss some characteristics which differentiate living and non-living organism. Like in living organism or in living being are made up of cell. Living organism or living being are obtain and use energy. Living beings grow and develop like a plant. Plant will grow in 10 days. It grow like 5 centimeter. In other 10 days it grow 10 centimeter. It grow slowly. And living beings reproduce. Living beings adapt to their environment. They can adapt it to the environment in which they live. Living beings respond to their environment or stimuli. So, with the help of this diagram, we can understand the characteristic of the living things. Like the living things are made up of cell. They respond to the environment. they grow and develop, obtain and use energy, they reproduce, and different level of organization. So these are some characteristics of the living beings. So now we discuss from where they gain energy or the nutrients, why they grow, how they grow, like something like that. So nutrition, the process by which animal obtain food and utilize it for all the activities is called nutrition. Like in humans or in also in plants, in humans we obtain food and convert it into the glucose, which is C6H12O6. This is the formula of the glucose, C6H12O6. So we break down into the simpler form, which is glucose, and we obtain energy from them and then use that energy, and that energy is called nutrition. And every organism require nutrition for obtaining energy. Growths, all living organisms grow and inhibit growth in different ways, like their body cell divide and grow, and thus overall growth is attained. It means that if the cell of that body of any organism is divide and grow, so if the cell is divide, then the whole the organism will overall growth of the organism will attain. Respiration is necessary for all living organism. It is through respiration that the body finally obtain energy from the food to take. It means that if the oxygen will come inside the body, or any other gas, like in the plants they need carbon dioxide. If the oxygen or any other gas is in humans, we talk about in humans, if the oxygen will not come inside the body, so it cannot make the final product, which is glucose, because in glucose the oxygen is necessary. Some animal may different mechanism for the exchange of gases, which is a part of respiration process. Some organisms have different type of respiration processes, like earthworm breathe through their skin, fishes have gills. In humans, we respire by breathing in oxygen, breathing out the carbon dioxide. Breathing in oxygen, breathing out carbon dioxide. Response to stimulus. Change in our surrounding that make us respond to them are called stimuli. It means if any change in our surrounding and we respond, that change make us to respond on them, that is called stimuli. It means that if there is cold, that cold make a respond or make a change in ourselves, because in the winter season we wear the woolen clothes, because that change in the climate is make a respond on us. Is make a respond on us. That respond is called stimuli. All living beings respect to change in their surrounding. All living beings have to change in their surrounding. If their surrounding is cold, they have to change according to that climate or that any other geographical situation. For example, in response to increased temperature in summer, we use fan for cool our homes. We use fans to cool our homes in the summers, but in winters we use heaters to warm our home or warm ourselves. Excretion. All living things take food or eat food. All living things take or eat food. Not all the food that is eaten is really used. Only a part of it is utilized by the body. It means that the not all the food that is eaten is really used. It means that what we eat, all 100% of that is not used. Only a part of it utilized by the body. Of some part of it is utilized, like the 50% or any or some more approx 50%, like approx 75% of the part of it is utilized by our body. Unused. Remaining food become waste and needs to excreted. Unused food, which is the like 15% food or 45%, and any amount of food is remain unused, that become waste and need that food or waste need to be excreted from our body. Our body also produces some waste like urea in other life process. Living organism get rid of all this waste material, and the process is known as excretion. So simple meaning is the process in which the living organism excrete the waste from their body is known as excretion. Reproduction. All living organisms give rise to a new organism of their own kind by a process called reproduction. The mode of reproduction may be different in animals and plants. Some animals produce their young ones through eggs. Some animals give birth to young ones. Plants produce seeds which germinate into new plants. Some plants also reproduce through parts other than seeds, like a part of potato with a bud grow into a new plant. Like in the potato, the buds are with a bud. A potato, take a potato with a bud, and after some days it will grow into a new plant. Movement. Animal move from one place to another and also show other body movements. So animal moves from one place to another place, and they can also show the other body movements, like in humans movements of hands, expression of face, movements of eyes, etc. Plants are generally anchored in the soil, so they do not move from one place to another, because the soil anchored the plants with the plant anchored the soil with the help of root. However, various substances like water, minerals, and foods synthesized by the plants move from one part to another part. But the plant cannot move, but the minerals, water, and food is synthesize and move from one part to another part of the plant. Plant also show other kinds of movement, like the opening and closing of flower buds. So animal adaptation. Now we come to adaptation. What is the presence of significant feature or certain habitat which enable a plant or an animal to live in its surrounding is called adaptation. Like different animals and are adapted to their surrounding in different ways. Like fish have the slippery scales. On their body, fish have the slippery scales on their body. These scales protect the fish and also help it easy movement through the water. So these scales help to easy movements of the fish through the water. So now we come to habitats or surroundings. The different surrounding or area have different organisms that live in. For example, in deserts there are camels, in mountains there are goats and yaks, in plains there are buffaloes, and in the deltas there are in forests there are different type of animals. So habitat or the surrounding where living organisms survive is known as habitat. Like the habitat of camel is survive in the desert. The habitat of camel is the hot and dry habitat of, or the desert is the habitat of the camel. The organism depend on their habitat for their food, water, air, shelter and other needs. So the animal which live in the particular habitat, he or she or it depend on the on that habitat for food. What type of food he gain from that habitat, what type of what type of shelter he gain from that habitat, water, air and other needs. Habitat mean a dwelling place. It means a home. The home of the yaks like mountains. The home of camel is desert. Like that. Several kinds of plants and animals may share the same habitat. Biotic components. The living components or a habitat are called biotic component. A habitat is called a biotic component. Everything inside a habitat which is living is known as biotic component, like plants and animals are the biotic. And abiotic components, all the non-living components of a habitat is called abiotic, like rock, soil, air, water. Terrestrial habitats. The plants and animals that live on land are said to live in terrestrial habitat. For example, grassland, desert, coastal areas and mountain regions. The animals or plants that live in these regions are known as terrestrial habitats. Aquatic habitat. The habitat of plants and animals that live in water are called aquatic habitat. For example, example of aquatic habitat like ponds, swamps, lakes, rivers, seas, oceans. Aquatic habitats could be freshwater, river or pond, or marine, sea, or even a delta of river meeting with the sea. So this is the picture of ocean. This is also example of aquatic habitat. Here the plants and the fishes. These are the plants of the aquatic habitat. These are the animals of the aquatic habitat. So basically habitat is normally or basically a habitat is a place, a particular type of where the particular type of climate, land, water and other type of things are have, and a particular living being, a species or a particular living beings like plants and animals, particular species of plants and animals are live there, is known as habitat. So this is the end of my video. So if you like my video, please subscribe to our channel and tap on bell icon for taking my all the updates. Thank you. Have a nice day.